criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. The dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
The video taken from inside Tanner Horner's FedEx van was disturbing enough that the judge would not allow live streams and also cut the feed to the overflow room. But those inside the courtroom saw Horner bring Athena into the van, tell her, "Do not scream or I'll hurt you." She asks him where they're going, if he's a kidnapper, and tells him she has to go to school tomorrow. The recording is an hour long, and at one point Horner covers the camera lens, although the audio continues to record. During that time, you could hear Athena crying and fighting for her life. The details of what was heard, so disturbing, legal expert Terry Bentley Hill thinks the defense case now becomes impossible.
This man right here named Terry Horner, whatever the fuck his name is, this man right here plotted and murdered a 7-year-old child while he was on his ship working at FedEx. So the story started off with this man named Terry Horner, a 7-year-old who lured a 7-year-old child to the back of a FedEx truck, kidnapped her, took her on a ride, made it seem like he was giving her something or whatever. In this case, from the first clip, showed he was perfectly know what he was doing because he covered up the cameras in the FedEx truck. After making his round, then he ended up putting his hands on the 7-year-old child to shut her up, and she didn't. So where he took her, so he strangled her in a video later, and it showed that he proved that he was pushing her around, slamming her around before he essayed her. And the court shows that he had all her DNA on his clothes. And my only question is, where was her parents? And if he was dropping the Barbie dolls off, why was the parents outside when he dropped it off? Don't we all get tracking numbers for our FedEx orders? Let's get back to the news clip.
I don't think there's any way a defense expert can come in and provide any mitigating evidence that will overcome what we heard and saw today in the courtroom.
And we also heard from Athena's father, Jacob, who said his daughter loved camping and the outdoors. The jury saw a box of unopened Barbie dolls he got her as a Christmas gift, the package that Horner delivered to their home. Now, today,
was found. It's not revealed today what specific male DNA was found, whether it was liquid or hair or skin cells. The analyst also testified blood and semen were also detected on Horner's FedEx shirt and other items of his clothing. Athena's fingernail clippings tested presumptively positive for blood as well. Now, under cross-examination, the witness admitted she could not determine the age of a stain on the clothing.
So it is an estimate. It is not an exact, precise calculation, but it is a very close, rough estimate of how much total human DNA is present in that sample and how much male DNA is present as well. It's just to give us a good guide on which samples would be beneficial for any further future DNA.
I don't know what to say, but this man is literally disgusting. What he did was uncalled for. And I'm going to give y'all my theory at the end of the video, but let's get into what the fuck he said in the investigation clip.
I tried to break her neck, making it as quick and painless as possible, but it didn't work. She started crying. Just tossed her in. Like, I couldn't just keep running around with the kid in the back like that. This is one of those probation things. This is one of those I'm going away for a long time things. I'm going to miss out all of my fucking son's life. I would rather die. I'm going to miss out on all my son's Christmases, his birthdays, him growing up. I'm going to miss out on everything. All because I listened to some stupid voice that isn't probably even there.
Told me you dropped her right there over the edge.
There she is. How you doing?
This man right here is crazy. Did y'all just hear what he just said in this investigation clip? He's literally sitting there begging for sympathy about him missing out his son Christmas and saying that he'd rather die because he sat there and murdered a child that had nothing to do with him or his family. And he wasn't thinking about his family when he murdered this innocent child. Now let's get back to the video.
Heard in a courtroom. The family did leave. The mom and father and some of the family members left and did not listen to it. And then the judge also asked the gallery if anybody cannot make it through the next, through this entire video, then you may want to go ahead and leave right now, because he warned everyone. And it is, you basically hear Tanner Horner torturing this little girl. We just have 30 more minutes of this video before they broke for lunch, and the judge told us there's still another 30 more minutes of graphic video, but you see them first walk up to she's following him into the van, and then he lifts her up and puts her in the van, and she's saying, where are we going? And I'm trying to also kind of talk to you saw.
She walked to the van with him. He put her in. He shut the door. She asked him, "Where are we going? What are you doing? Are you a kidnapper?" It was almost like a conversation for a while, wasn't it, Rebecca?
Yeah, and he's just chit-chatting with her, asking her, "Where do you go to school? How old are you?" And at one point, he tells her, she says, "Why are you doing this?" And he says, "Because you're pretty." And he says, "You know that, don't you?" And then they drive around for a while. She keeps saying, "Where are you going?" And then he stops the vehicle, and that's when he gets very graphic. Tanya, at one point, he tells her to take off her shirt, and she says, "Why?" And he says, he doesn't really answer that. You can't really hear what he says, but then she says, "My mom says somebody shouldn't be doing this to me, and you shouldn't be doing this to me."
Right, yeah. My mom said, "I can't do this to other people, and you can't do it to me either." So, what I think is interesting is that the state spent a lot of time yesterday proving up the DNA evidence, or trying to bring that in. And I think it's going to be very clear that there was some very sexual, deviant things going on. Of course, by this point, we can't see, we can only hear what is going on. But she asks him several times, "What are you doing?" The poor child says, "Ouch, ouch, ouch," multiple times. Asks him again, "What are you doing?" The point being is that we still have 30 minutes left of this audio, and this is about an hour's worth of torture that he has put her through. It's shocking because it gets quiet, and then we all assume, because you can hear the struggle, and we all assume, so we can all assume that she's passed, and then all of a sudden we'll hear her gasp, and we'll hear her cry, and we'll hear her moan, and then it'll get quiet.
And then he'll pull over, like at one point he does take off, and then he hears her, so he pulls over, and then Tanya, you hear stomping or slamming, like he's trying to hurt her more, and then he takes off, and then the most eerie thing is at one point, Jingle Bell Rock comes on, because remember this is around Christmas, and she is crying. You can hear her crying, and he's just singing. He starts singing Jingle Bell Rock, and then she's crying, goes, "Shut up." He tells her multiple times, "Shut up. If you don't shut up, I'm going to come back there and hurt you more. You need to shut up." He tells her to shut up several times.
Tanner Horner's DNA in places where you shouldn't find DNA on a 7-year-old girl. We're going to take you back in time. We're going to show you what Tanner Horner did to prepare for this, covering up the camera, setting this up. And he was there 24 hours before on the same road at a different house with a different girl. It looks eerily similar to what you're going to see on the Venus video the night before. Again, preparation, planning. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about what you may see in this particular case. We're going to show you the whole video, and we're going to show you how he did it, because I think that's important. It's an hour. It's not 5 minutes. It's an hour. And it's not just one time that he's trying to kill her. It's over and over and over again. You can hear the banging in the truck. You can hear the screams. This is what's coming. It didn't happen fast. Now, when it comes to punishment, you guys know there are 2 questions, right? Future danger mitigation. We talked to them ad nauseum when you guys were doing Fort Iron. I'll submit to you that the level of violence that one person can inflict on a child is important. But you're also going to hear all about this individual. You're also going to hear about past and present. And I submit to you that you're also going to hear a bunch of stuff about how he's got some kind of life problems. He's got some kind of medical problems. He's got some kind of this. He's got some kind of that. I anticipate all of that coming up. I anticipate a long line of experts rolled up in here telling you just about how problematic this guy is. That's what's to be expected. It's all an excuse. Okay? It's all an excuse for somebody who's done this. So I submit to you, when we get to that, it's going to take a little bit. We're going to try to streamline it as much as we can. Okay? But it's important. I'm going to leave you to this. When we talk to people feel about it. And I told you in the beginning, we have to talk about her in the past tense, which is very sad. Remember why we have to talk about it in the past tense. Today, we're about a month away, a little more than a month away from Athena's birthday. She would have been 11. Would have been 11. She would have been looking forward to summertime. She would have been in the 4th grade. Key word is would. It's in the past tense, and we know why. We're ready to present this case to you. We appreciate you being here. Thank you. Judge?
I wanted to tell Sheriff Aiken that he didn't know what he was talking about. I asked him if I could confirm that that was my daughter, and he told me no, because she looks too bad. And I went into a place of denial. I stopped breathing, and I started to black out as I heard Ashley screaming. I knew it. I knew it was him. And I will be her face, and I will be her voice, and I will make sure that every person in this world knows that she was loved.
After me reading up on this case and looking at all the evidence and all the stories and all the clips, I just wondered, like, what was the parents at? And why did the mother say that she asked him and she heard him screaming? So did she already know she was in the back of the truck before he took off with her and murdered her? Or did he find out, or did she find out later after she was already murdered? Something off with the parents, but hey, I'm not gonna guilt trip them. But yeah, this man is disgusting, and I believe he deserved death penalty. I believe people that goes out their way to kill innocent people does deserve death penalty. In America, I feel like America should enforce that rule on people. Maybe that would stop the murderers. Because if you murder people and you get murdered, I mean, it's a life for a life. An eye for an eye. So yeah. And do y'all believe that being pretty is a curse? Because he told the young girl that that she was pretty. And I do believe that's one of the reasons that he murdered her. Like, that's a scary thing to think about. You just being pretty and young, no matter you male or female. And somebody want to murder you for that. That's a scary thing to think about. Make sure y'all like, subscribe my video. Thank you for watching, and I love all of y'all. I see the light.